good fam? We're back out here day 2 to test the mic again. Hold up, gotta turn these on. Yo fam, what's good? Back with your boy Propagnda, and we're here in the stew. So the mic wasn't working when we went out to record this. We were actually going out to test the J37 prop against the HQV2Ss. So we usually fly the J37s, but we're looking for something with a bit more authority on the turns. The J37s have a 37-inch pitch and they're 4.9 inch blades. A very light prop. I think they weigh about 3.6 grams each. So they're super responsive, but they lack a little bit of that mid-throttle authority. So like if you're cruising and trying to get sort of like smooth lines, they tend to get a bit drifty when you're using the J37s. And you can't actually correct the way you would expect to by adding additional throttle and pitch, because when you pitch forward you start to lose too much altitude, and then you'll go to add more throttle and then it just increases your speed, and then you're just going like full send. And so I find it when I'm trying to fly very tight proximity spots like yesterday's one when we were at the school, the J37s didn't quite give me the authority that I wanted when I wanted to do a bit more tricks and stuff. But the advantages of these props is they spool up so fast because they're super light. And they're real responsive. So for like quick tricks and spanging around, they're super great, and they're really efficient on my build. This quad here weighs about 660 grams ish with the Session 5, and I can fly around like this for over 6 minutes with the J37s and our Killer Drones 1300 Fruit Burst batteries. Fruit Burst. There's a little battery that we designed here. We're actually working on V2 at the moment, so probably going to have them very shortly. So the J37s for me currently, I've been trying to smoothen out my flying style and get a little bit less with the crazy rolls and flips and all that stuff, and just fly a little bit smoother, try and search for a little bit more tech, and I want the authority of a more aggressive prop. So we're looking for a higher pitch and maybe a slightly longer blade as well, so we might go back to a 5-inch blade. So that's why we're testing the DPS V2Ss, HQ 5x4.3x3 V2Ss. I think that's what they're fucking called. Shit me fam, I don't even know what that means. But yeah, when we came to this spot to test, we noticed, like I hadn't flown here before, so we went to go and fly against these trees. Noticed there was that water there, and yeah, it just fully ruined the testing location. So we had to hold back on a few tricks that we wanted to try. So I was actually going to practice a few tricks as well while I was out here flying. Whoa, shit! I was going to actually practice tricks while I was out here flying, but yeah, didn't get the opportunity because of that water. I was not having it. Was not having a good time, fam. If the mic was actually working, you'd be hearing me like be going like, "Ugh, this spot sucks. Why did I come here to test? There's water everywhere and it's so busy. Oh, it sucks." Anyway, so we're feeling dialed in to the J37s. Just had to fly the pre-pack just to know what we're testing against. So just a quick little 3-minute, 4-minute blat around the park here. A couple of other really awesome things about these props. The colorway, fam. The colorway on these props were so nice. There's a, like a cyan, blue, a white, a grey, and a peach, like orange or gold, which is another heavy influence on how we choose our props, the colorway. But yeah, J37s, really good for tricks and spanging around. They are very responsive. They probably increase your rates a little bit, probably by like 2%, just because of how fast they are. And for a 4.9, they're somewhat efficient. But I'd say that's just because my build's so light. So bag landing number 1 failed. We'll unplug now. We'll just leave that battery there because we almost went in the water twice. I don't like this spot. So many people around. But we're just going to test out these next props, okay? Alright fam, this is our first pack with the DPSs, I think, HQ DPSs, the old HQV2, so 5-inch prop with a 4.3 pitch. So I immediately feel like we should have a bit more pop and a little bit more control. So hopefully these feel nice and dialed. Don't know about the colorway. Colorway's purple. We'll have to change our entire setup. Alright, so pack number 2, here we are, and the first thing you notice about these props instantly is the important stuff, the colorway. So there isn't too many colors available for this prop, which kind of limits me wanting to use it, honestly. However, they flew really nicely. So these do have the authority that I like. So I previously used to fly the GemFan 5143s. Really great prop, awesome colorway, really efficient and very good authority. However, we don't use GemFan anymore just due to personal reasons. So we're searching the HQProp inventory, and we started off with the OG V2Ss. We were previously flying the Ethics P4s. However, the 5.1 inch prop on our frame isn't the nicest. But when the prop would bend, it'd get like slight battery strikes, or battery straps would get cut. So yeah, we moved away from that prop into the V2Ss. 4.3 pitch is a very nice pitch for very good authority on the turns, and quite a fair bit more thrust with the additional pitch. But I think there is a slight bit of wastage at the top end on my specific build because it's so light. Oh, nice crash there, so we'll get a test with the old dinged up props as well. Get to see how they go dinged up. Anyway, yeah, so as I was saying, I'm running 1950 kV motors on this build, and I think it loses a little bit of that top end sort of power, I'd say. So like all during the low and mid throttle, the prop is super responsive and will push the drone where you expect it. But then I was experiencing that top like 80 to 90% of throttle wasn't adding any benefits really. It wasn't adding to the speed of the drone, and it was probably just spinning the propeller, and it sort of already reached its like full RPM range. What I'm trying to say is I felt like the top 10% of the throttle was gone anyway. Not necessary. What does that mean? So I could probably put a throttle cap on and use them, but don't know. I was quite gushing over these props though as we were flying this pack. But I'm looking for like maybe a 5-inch with 5-inch prop with a 4-inch pitch. I think will be quite perfect, because these 4.3, as I mentioned, that top end of the throttle was sort of gone. They would it felt like they lost a lot of efficiency due to that, because yeah, I think it felt like it reached peak RPM sort of around 70-80% throttle, and then anything over that it just was struggling. I don't know if it was the motor, or I think it's the prop. I think the prop was encountering too much wind resistance, or maybe the air's too light. Maybe the quad's too light. I feel like it's the quad's too light for the prop combo. Anyway, it's kind of scientific and I don't want to get into it right now, but it cut off a decent 1.5 to 2 minutes off of the flight time that I could totally achieve if I was just using the J37s. So, in conclusion, what does this mean for our current setup? We'll likely continue searching for a prop. However, depending on the location, I believe we'll be flying the V2Ss a little bit more in very tight proximity spaces, and then we'll be using the J37s for areas like this with a bit more open ground and a bit more space to fly. There are a few confidence issues with the J37s, like as I mentioned, the amount of throttle that you need to catch the drone or like to drive it into where you want it to go sort of reduces my confidence in using those props. Can fly around it, yes, but don't always want to when I get to a spot. Sometimes I just want to send it and just have the drone go where I want it to go. Caveat to that, the V2Ss limited my flight time by, like I said, 1:32 minutes easy, and that kind of ruins my fun. I like to fly for as long as I can in the air, so I only take 3 packs to park. That's the amount I have. And out of that 3 packs, I can get almost like 25 minutes of flying, fam, with the J37s. And yeah, using the V2Ss, I think this pack was pretty tapped, trying to get to 4 minutes. And that wasn't even flying hard. I wouldn't even consider this very hard flying for what I typically like to do. I think, yeah, this is where the battery starts to die, so we turn back around. And we'll just fly back home. Alright, so, yeah, as I mentioned, these we're still looking for a prop, so if you want to sponsor me, fam, that'll be dope. But no, yeah, if you're watching, thank you for watching, fam. Drop us a comment, let us know how your day was. Really helps us stay motivated to get out flying. But we're stacking up on freestyle videos, fam, so new videos every time we upload. And have a good day. Peace. That prop at the... Yeah, brother. Oh, sorry, I'll be over in a sec. Oh, yeah, no, and so these props are a little bit, like, freaking bent up. This front one got bent here. The front two got bent up a bit. The flight time dropped down significantly. We weren't being that aggressive. Interesting to know, because the J37s, fam, definitely a lot less aggressive, the J37s, but these ones here, they they had the authority that I liked on the turns. The J37s still felt a bit drifty, whereas this fam I could like fucking. There was a couple of times where I was almost going towards the tree and I was able to like correct again. So that was nice. As in terms of like pitch and stuff, I think a 4 pitch would be nice, man. Like the P4s were really good, but they were just like a mil too long for the frame, so I wasn't really feeling it. Oh well, they were a mil too long for the frame, so every time they got bent, they'd ding a standoff like at the back here. The standoff here with the 3D print on it would get kind of dinged. Yeah, you can't see it obviously. Why am I trying to tell you that? But yeah, that's us for tonight. The testing's decent, so that was all good. Alright, peace.